we are going to try and recreate Stardew Valley in The Sims 2. Obviously, I picked the only neighborhood with valley in it, and I had an enormous nostalgic flashback at this intro scene, reminding me of my childhood days of playing Sims 2. I have attempted to recreate Stardew Valley in Sims 1, and it was pretty hard, so I've got my Sims now starring and my little pup. I think I named him Blob. I don't know why, but Blob is a German Shepherd, and I have a special place in my heart for German Shepherds. We picked the only empty lot, tried to recreate the little hut cabin in Stardew Valley, had issues right away because it was not centered. And don't worry, I did change the color. The biggest issue I had was getting the log effect, and obviously remembering that The Sims, unlike the Stardew character, the farmer, had to survive, meaning eating, sleeping. Well, Stardew really sleep, but you get the point. The only thing I had trouble finding, and I later found it, and I think in statues, is, rocks. It's not just a rock, it's a boulder. Anyway, I managed to recreate it elegantly, and I like the arch there in the back, and I found a scarecrow. I didn't like the door, so I had to replace the door and everything else. I did find like a log closest to it. I added a big ass statue to, it's me with glasses watching them through the screen. And as my Sims now recreated and played with a dog, she had to start planting, and this was where I made my first mistake. The amount of things I planted. I should have kept it simple, but my math was not mathing, and like my Stardew alternate, I ignored everyone. There's a boulder there in the back, and my beehive as a post box, because I did not use cheats other than money. My boxes in the back, ignored everybody, got some points for gardening, got invited, and obviously after I watered everything, it started to rain. Naturally. And naturally I took care more of the dog than I did myself. And before you ask, yes, there is no door in front of the bathroom. Open plan and whatnot. At this point I realized that you and we need to take care of the plant's happiness, and not just by talking to it, but by watering, weeding, etc. It was a bigger task than I thought. And at this point I found my thumbnail, I think, and I couldn't view my scarecrow because it was in front of the plants, obviously. But same. Take care of the dog, spending time with the dog, it seems is a familiar thing that I and my Sim have in common. I got a phone, registered my dog breed, and you could do that. My dog slept on the bed, warmed myself. I was very cautious to light the fireplace next to the wooden table, because if you've watched my Sims 1 recreation of Stardew Valley, I burned everything down at the last minute as I wanted to recreate. There's the first thing you put on, is the fireplace, and obviously true to the breed, it started chewing my little pup, and my Sims hated that, and she hated every time my dog chewed on the chew toy, and it impacted her negatively. And I met a few people, you'll meet them later as well. My sim lived on soups, cereal, and whatnot. I did treat her to a pizza or two and forced her to go back to farming. You know, again, every time my dog did something, she lost aspiration points. It was a lot of work taking care of my tomatoes, whatever. On the bright side, she got more points in nature. Her enthusiastic approach, or her forced enthusiastic approach, finally paid off. And the gardening badges kept coming. And it rained. And at some point, I met someone, never knew you could meet. I just hired gardeners in my previous playthroughs, and you know, as one does, I, however, realized at some point that there was seasons. I didn't own all the packs. Can't remember if I did have seasons back in the day, but I had a timeline. I had to be done by, by the end of fall, autumn. I wanted tomatoes, and that was my only thing. Here my dog Blob is rolling on in its own pee. Fabulous. Took a shower while my dog is chewing. You know, as one does. I quite liked her look, her overall, her farmy look. And again, I forced her to go back tending to her plants because there was a lot, poor thing. I am so sorry. I wanted to duplicate how many we got in Stardew Valley, and it slipped my mind. I forced her to go to bed hungry often. I felt bad and made her eat. But what can you do? What can you do? I know you can get like kitchens in Stardew Valley, but that is not a starter thing. You know, you need to work yourself up for it. It's something you have to earn in Stardew Valley. Here you need it because the sim needs to, survive. And I looked through what you can do. I did order pizza, like I said, and I attempted to get a gardener, but not yet. Not yet. At this point, I had to get a bath for the dog. And for the Sims, a little one-on-one on nature will always help the plants grow better. So there was no space inside, and my dog started chewing again. And as you can see, she lost a lot of points, and it was not going well. I thought playing with the dog would help her out, and washing the dog, Blob needed a good washing, as did she. Then I forced her to go back to planting, but it was very dark, and I remember that you, as one, would often go into the caverns, the mines, and I would steal, little lanterns. This was the closest I could get, so I put a few of those in just to light up the area. after a relaxing bath and, freshened up a little bit, I forced her to, yes, get planting. We needed our tomatoes before the first snowfall, or before everything died. She tried her best. She really did, but the plants did not like it. Blob got into an altercation while my sim slept. I thought he would make a friend. No, did not. And then dog gave each other again and, went on the day. Blob really is a beautiful dog. Oh, drama in the animal community. And Blob creating more drama for our Sims now. She was going to need a lot of help on this farm. And here we meet our mysterious guest.
Oh, jata babara. Habri, oda habri.
Atsawi guawo!
Damn.
I thought a trip to a mysterious park would be in order. Our Sims got it, worked hard for it. But I was underwhelmed. It was just a park. Yes, it's beautiful, nature, but there was nothing else to do. So I wandered around because only it's exclusive guests only. It had to have like gardening, I think, but I was a bit disappointed. I didn't see much else. I didn't go anywhere else, so this was the only thing I saw. But it was an outing nonetheless.
Yorgala, Hishkavo no paketida. Kashu, Ovalumapa. Hishtonatas, Klasu Palabu. Gosh, Shamopakalata. What do?
Cholag. Shasavab.
Enamasa, Mude, Munafisa. Nupliga. Mawajda.
Chamosta. Istawu, Wishta, Vlita, Bashta.
Isna moga devla buba. Kuflina. Kasi.
Balito, Maizete.
Go now.
Oh, madam, isso tá...
Come Orlando! Come along the way!
After a disappointing trip out, I took the starring family back home. And, you know, as with weeding, we had to take care of the insects. There's a lot more to it in Stardew. In Sims and Stardew, I mean. But it had to be done. Everything was rotting inside, the dog, the food, and yes, the doctor was back because apparently her lifestyle in Stardew was not healthy. Who knew? Who knew that running around yourself to the bone and, what's it saying? I don't know, to the farms, to the mines, to 2 a.m. every night, waking up at 6, you know, ignoring everybody. That's what I do in Stardew Valley. Alone at heart. Then I was very happy to discover that in autumn in The Sims, the leaves fall and they cover the ground. The detail made me so happy I couldn't stop smiling. But it was a sign, and the jacket she wore was another sign that time was running out. And I still did not get tomatoes. My Sim was angry, depressed, and not having a good time. And then to make matters worse,
Yes, what?
they took our rock, our boulder. Yeah, they could have taken worse things, and now, yes, I did hire a gardener. I am sorry. I was desperate, but in my defense, the gardener did not help with, you know, the stuff that matters. As you would see, he only took out the dying stuff and the leaves. That was my fate. But we had to get our tomatoes. So after the gardener left, I saw it. A little red gleam, and it was not thank you to the gardener because it was there already. And we did it. So I grabbed all the tomatoes and our deed was done. So, after a hard season's work, not a hard season, but a hard seasons, she took a nice bubble bath. She deserved it. She grew tomatoes. And what did we learn? We learned that it is not healthy to be a farmer in Stardew Valley, and poor thing did not enjoy herself. I did, however, enjoy seeing a very realistic approach to it. However, we still lack a lot of things that we could not find in Stardew Valley. Mining. We can do fishing, but as you could see, it was a handful keeping our Sims alive and sane. She was alive by the end. Definitely not sane. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed a little Stardew Sims 2 adventure. And until the next video, cheerios.